Welcome to the second class of soft computing. We are going into one of the area of soft computing called fuzzy logic. In this class, we will look into some terms related with fuzzy logic, bringing out the significance of fuzzy logic, and we also will look into how we represent a fuzzy set. Let us go into the details. We will look into this term called imprecision. We can understand that the human reason is imprecision. Malayathil imprecision avyaktata എന്നാണ് നമ്മൾ പറയുന്നത്. Human reasoning is always imprecise in nature, whereas we can understand that computers require precise quantities. If we are connecting a sensor to the computer, it will give a precise value, like the temperature is 27.7 degrees Celsius or it is 49.3 degrees Celsius. The boiling point of water, we study it is 100 degrees Celsius. When we measure using a sensor, we might get a value like 98.3 or 101.4. Likewise, these are all precise values. We require precision in models, engineering models and products. But our thinking is always imprecise in nature. നമ്മൾ പല കാര്യങ്ങളും കുറച്ച് അരി വേണം, അതിന് കുറച്ച് കഴിഞ്ഞ് വരാം. We use terms like this. കുറച്ചെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ എന്താണെന്നുള്ളത് നമ്മൾ ഡിഫൈൻ ചെയ്യുന്നില്ല. It's an imprecise term. In electronics components, when we learn, a resistor is always color coded. So the first two values represents the value. First two colors represent the value. And in the last color band is a tolerance value, by which we say how much amount is tolerable or how much resistance this resistor can exhibit. So if it is 47 kilo ohms with a gold band, so it is 5%. So we mean that it is 47 kilo ohms plus or minus 5%. So there can be a change in the value. കൃത്യം വാല്യൂ 47K ആണ്. പക്ഷെ നമ്മളൊരു റെസിസ്റ്റൻസിനെ നമുക്ക് മൾട്ടിമീറ്റർ വെച്ച് നമ്മൾ മെഷർ ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ അതിന്റെ വാല്യൂ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് 47K ആയിരിക്കത്തില്ല. ഇറ്റ് ക്യാൻ ബി പ്ലസ് ഓർ മൈനസ് 5% of that value. We need to define what is the tolerance for the imprecision. ഒന്ന് രണ്ട് എക്സാമ്പിൾസ് ഞാൻ പറയാൻ ആഗ്രഹിക്കുന്നത്. വൺ ഇസ് ദിസ് ട്രാവലിംഗ് സെയിൽസ്മാൻ പ്രോബ്ലം. നിങ്ങൾ ഇന്നലെ ചെയ്ത അസൈൻമെന്റിന്റെ അകത്ത് ഷോർട്ടസ്റ്റ് പാത്ത് കവറിംഗ് 5 cities എന്നാണ്. അപ്പം ഒരു സാധാരണയുള്ള കോമൺ ലിറ്ററേച്ചറിനകത്ത് വരുന്ന ടേംസ് ആണ് ട്രാവലിംഗ് സെയിൽസ്മാൻ പ്രോബ്ലം അല്ലെങ്കിൽ TSP എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. ഒരു സിമ്പിൾ എക്സാമ്പിൾ ആയിട്ട് ഞാൻ പറയുന്നത്, ഒരാൾക്ക് ഒരു maybe a pen distributor is there, and this pen distributor has to supply it to 5 shops, and see the shops might be in our context, like from Charkala you can go to Bedidika, from Charkala you can go to Powell, from Charkala you can go to maybe Chattanjal, and he has to give also in Nayamarmula, and then he has to give it in Kasaragod. Now he has to cover all these towns, Bedidika, Bovikanam, and he has to cover Chattanjal, and he has to go to Nayamarmula, he has to go to Kasaragod. So which path he will take so that the cost is minimum? Cost എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ട്രാവലിംഗിനുള്ള ടൈം ആയിരിക്കാം, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ട്രാവലിംഗിന് എടുക്കുന്ന പെട്രോളിന്റെ എമൗണ്ട് ആയിരിക്കാം. ഇതിൽ ഏത് എടുത്താലാണ് ഏറ്റവും കുറവ്? അതാണ് നമ്മുടെ കോസ്റ്റ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. So there are some constraints, but he has to cover all these 5 shops or 5 places. അതിനെയാണ് നമ്മൾ ട്രാവലിംഗ് സെയിൽസ്മാൻ പ്രോബ്ലം പറയുന്നത്. അതുപോലെ നമുക്കൊരു ഇലക്ട്രോണിക്സ് എഞ്ചിനീയറിനെ സംബന്ധിച്ച് we can relate with, see, drilling the holes. This is a figure of a printed circuit board, PCB, and this is a PCB which is manufactured using surface mount technology, SMT. And you can see there are so many holes in the board. Now, in which order? Now it is a mechanism, because we have not one card, we have several printed circuit board. So it is always an automated process. And in this automation process, now which hole will the machine drill first? So അതിന്റെ അത് ടൈം ഉണ്ടായിരിക്കാം. അപ്പൊ അതിന്റെ ഡ്രിൽ ചെയ്യുന്ന നോസിൽ ഹെഡ് ഏത് ഹോൾസ് ഡ്രിൽ ചെയ്ത് പോകണം. In which direction it has to go, in which order it has to go, so that there is some cost for that. Time ഒരു ഫാക്ടർ ആണ്, പിന്നെ ആ മെഷീൻ ഉപയോഗിക്കേണ്ട എനർജി, പവർ ഒരു ഫാക്ടർ ആണ്, അത് എത്ര പ്രാവശ്യം ബാക്ക് ആൻഡ് ഫോർത്ത് മൂവ് ചെയ്യണം, അതൊക്കെ അതിനെല്ലാം ഒരു കോസ്റ്റ് ഉണ്ട്. സോ ഈ കോസ്റ്റ് വെച്ചിട്ടാണ് വി ആർ ഡിസൈഡിങ് ദ ഓർഡർ ഇൻ വിച്ച് ഇറ്റ് ഹാസ് ടു. In all these problems we find there is an amount of uncertainty. Uncertainty എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ എന്താണ്? നമുക്കൊരു ഷുവർ പറയാൻ പറ്റത്തില്ല. And it is the inverse of information. Information is, see, something is definitely going to happen. അവിടെ there is no uncertainty. Suppose today is an exam day. ഇന്ന് എക്സാം ആണ്, അതിന് ഒരു അൺസർട്ടനിറ്റി ഇല്ല. Today, if it is an exam day, today there will be exam. There is no uncertainty for that. So uncertainty is always the inverse of information. Information about a particular engineering or scientific problem may be incomplete, imprecise. It can be fragments. It is in small amounts, fragments. It may be unreliable. Then it may be vague. It is not specific, it is a vague. It may be contradictory or deficient in some ways. So uncertainty can be fuzzy, not sharp. I will tell you some examples in the coming slides. It is not sharp. The time you will come, 6 മണിക്ക് വരും എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ എപ്പം വരുമെന്നുള്ളത് ഷാർപ്പ് അല്ല. It may be unclear, imprecise, approximation നമ്മൾ ചെയ്യും. It may be vague, it is not specific or amorphous. Ambiguity, too many choices are there. So there is an ambiguity, and or uncertainty will be in the form of ignorance, like not knowing some things. And it might be a form due to natural variability, like conflicting, randomness, chaotic, unpredictable. So uncertainty can be exhibited, or it can come in different forms. It can be fuzzy, vague, ambiguous, ignorance, out of ignorance, or due to natural variability. For example, I shall return soon. എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ when he is going to return, it is not mentioned. So the time is not specific. He may come any time. He can come this moment, he can come next moment, might be the next hour or any time. Let's see the second sentence. I shall return in a few minutes. Here it's a quantified in terms of minutes. So he will come in few minutes. Means it will not go to hours. It will not go to days. He will come in 5 or 10 or maybe 15 minutes. In a few minutes. So it is quantified, but it is still vague. Now the third option is I shall return within 2 minutes of 6 p.m. That means 6 മണി കഴിഞ്ഞ് 2 മിനിറ്റിനുള്ളിൽ ഞാൻ തിരിച്ചു വരും. That means in 180 seconds he is going to come back. So you can see, ഓരോ കേസിലും first കേസിൽ it is very vague. In second case it is quantified in terms of minutes. And third case, it is quantified, even boundary is quantified. Within 2 minutes, after 6 p.m, within 2 minutes, I will come. ഇങ്ങനെ നമ്മുടെ റീസണിങ്ങിലും നമ്മുടെ ഡെയിലി കോൺവെർസേഷൻസിലും many things are imprecise in nature. But we cannot give it to a computer because because computer definitely works by some commands, specific commands. They need precise data. So we have to model our data and tell our system how to handle this imprecise data. And there comes the significance of fuzzy logic. Everyday conversation നമ്മൾ ഉപയോഗിക്കുന്ന terms ആണ് good. Okay, നല്ലതാണ്. Very good. The product is very good. Means what? The product is good means what? We have not quantified. ഒരു ക്ലാസ്സിലെ students, I can tell that everyone is tall. Even the shortest person can tell that I am tall. അപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ പല വാക്കുകൾ tall, taller, tallest, more taller, very tall, ഇങ്ങനത്തെ നമ്മൾ പല വാക്കുകൾ നമ്മൾ ഓരോ ദിവസത്തെയും കോൺവെർസേഷൻസിനകത്ത് നമ്മൾ ഉപയോഗിക്കും. So fuzzy logic, we have to handle all these such terms. So we are going to see how it is handled. So here we are going to learn a little bit more about a classical set and a fuzzy set. Now we will take students whose height are between 4 feet and 6 feet. Now if you are taking this set of students whose height is between 4 feet and 6 feet, then it will be a set with a definite boundary. Students with height 3.9 or 3.99 will not be part of this set. Students with height 6.0001 will not be part of this set. It will be a set with a definite number of members or elements. Whereas in the second case is students whose height is around 5 feet. Now in this particular set, around 5 means anybody can be a member. In this particular example, what I've shown is students with 4 to 6 are members of this fuzzy set. An element or a student with height 5 is a member. He is definitely a member. So he is given a membership value 1. A student with height 4.5 is also a member, but he is given a lesser membership value. Let's assume 0.5 because that shape is linearly increasing. And at 4 it becomes 0. Similarly on the right side, 5.1 is a member but with a lesser membership value. 5.5 is also a member with even lesser membership value, and so on. In this figure, from this figure we can find that students with height less than 4 is not a member. Similarly, students with height less than 6 is also not a member. Greater than 6 is also not a member. So this is what we find in a fuzzy set. In a fuzzy set, there will be members with varying membership values. Hope you understood this. We will look into some examples. In classical set theory, that is what we learned so far. I will give you an example of classical set theory. Let's say that consider the example of departments. In our college, I am defining it as a set A. And this set has definite members. We have Electronics and Communication Engineering, then we have AAA department, Computer Science department, we have IT, we have Mechanical, and we have Civil. This makes it complete. In classical set theory, we can say that ECE is a we can say ECE is a member of the set A with membership value equal to 1. And let's suppose automobile engineering. Automobile engineering is not a member of A, and so its membership value is equal to 0. This is the example for a classical set. We will take another example for a fuzzy set. Let's take the example of height of the students. In classical set also we have the concept of universe. Universe will be the list of all possible values. So we will consider a universe. It's a universe of, so here the students name are P, Q, R, S, T, U and V. These are the names of the students. So this is a universe. And I am defining a set B which is equal to students with height around 5 feet. So let us assume some students in a class, their names are P, Q, R. I am not written any specific names. Their names are P, Q, R, S, T, U and V, and their height is there. Let us suppose that height of each student the height of P is, let's assume some values. It is 4.5 feet. Then of Q, the height is, let us assume it to be 5 feet. Then R, let's assume the height to be 3.1 feet. So it's too low. Let's make it some. Okay, let us make it for time being. It is 3. Let's say 3.9 feet, and we have Q S, whose height is around 5.6 feet. Then we have T, whose height is around, let's say, some 4.9 feet, and let us take U, whose height is around 6.2 feet, and let's take V, whose height is around 5.1 feet. So this is the height, and our set is students with height around 5 feet. We can say that all the above students are members of this set. We can say that P is a member, P is a member with his height is 4.5. So when compared to 5, it is very near. So I can say P is a member with membership value 0.5, say 0.5. I can say Q is a member, his height is 5. It is around 5 now, so he is a member with membership value 1. Yes, QR. R is having a height 3.9. So we have considered people between 4 and 6. So 3.9 is out. So he is not a member. Then S, the height is 5.6. So we will assume that he is a member, but with a membership value like we will put 4, 5. I am randomly putting the membership values. Let's say T is having 4.9. It's very near 5 feet. So T is a member with membership value very near 1. So we put something like 0.9. I'm just randomly giving some membership value. Let's take U, the next member. He is having a height 6.2. We have considered 4 to 6. So 6.2 is beyond that. So he is not a member. His membership value is 0. And then we have V, whose height is 5.1. 5.1 is very near 5. So he will have a higher membership value. I have given the value 0.9. So this is how you write a fuzzy set. Now what does it mean? P is a member of the fuzzy set B with membership value equal to 0.5. Q is a member of the fuzzy set B with membership value equal to 1. And I can directly write R is not a member of the set. He cannot be considered a part of set because his height is 3.9, which is very much less than 5. So this is how we interpret. There is one more notation for this fuzzy set. This is just a different notation. So some books will follow the notation as shown as a coordinate pair, and it can also show it like this. I can write the membership value on top and the member on the bottom. So Q is a member with membership value 1. R is not a member at all, so I need not mention it at all. Now S is a member with membership value 0.5. T is a member with membership value 0.9. U is not a member. V is a member with value 0.9. So out of P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, P, Q, S, T and V are members, and R and U are not members. Their membership value is 0. So this is another notation, way of notation of a fuzzy set. So we have looked into, in today's class, we have looked into what is the concept of uncertainty, and fuzzy logic comes out of the way to express uncertainty. And we saw that fuzzy set is used to describe this uncertainty. And we have today in this class we have seen how to notate a fuzzy set. So we will meet in the next class. Try to solve the quiz and come up with your doubts. So we will meet in this class. Thank you.